Hello and welcome to Asake Online. My name is Lesley Moyo. The program is Fix My City, where we focus on service delivery issues that affect the city of Bulawayo. And this week's program, we visited Nkulumane suburb under Ward 22, where the local councillor Mmeli Moyo convened a residents meeting to discuss service delivery issues that affect the particular ward. The meeting was attended by the city mayor, Senator David Coltart, and Nkulumane Constituency Member of Parliament Desire Moyo. The residents raised a number of pertinent issues around issues of service delivery. They spoke of issues of litter as well, especially in business centers where residents are said to be dumping litter, and the litter goes for days uncollected. They also spoke about the issue of flooding, where some low-lying houses are flooded, especially during the rainy seasons. The councillor, as well as the mayor, David Coltart, also responded to some of these issues that the residents raised. Let's hear more of this particular interaction.
What 22 oye. Siyabonga linjani zakhamizi. Ngiyathabuka phambi kwenu. Abanengi maybe asazani bese sijala ukubonana emaposteni lasemafonini. Igama lokuzalwa nguMmeli Moyo, uCouncillor okawa 22, othunywe yizakhamizi, ontanga ogogo labokhulu abakawa 22. Ukuthi sigijime sisesihlalweni esika council. So mbona ngani ngizi-introducer okwesibili within a short space of 3 months. Why? Because ewadini sibe lama elections 2 times. Mhla ka-23 August and mhla ka-9 December. Izakhamizi lina zakhamizi ezenkulumane lasenketha labona kungcono kufanele ukuthi umuntu elamvota mhla ka-23 August limpisile njalo mhla ka-9 December. Isizathu akusikho ukuthi maybe uyasebenza kakhulu or maybe nguye ongcono kwabanye, but esikhathini esiningi nxa abantu begijima beku-race kule champion eyodwa, nxa abantu bedlala ibhora ingaba yi-Manchester United le-Chelsea sikhangele ukuthi A1 iwine, it doesn't make another party weak. Yikho nje ukuthi lawe libone kungcono ukuthi hayi the best foot forward for these 5 years ngojaha ome phambi. So ngakho nokho besingakatholi ithuba ukuthi silibonge ngomsebenzi nomuhle ngokusixhasa lokusisekela lasivotela njalo mhla ka-9 December. So ngilokubonga kakhulu, ngabe bekile mali besiyayenza umcimbi omkhulu ukuthi into zankhona izambe kuhle, because siyakwazi thina ukuthi ekudleni yikho lapho esikwanisa ukuyakha khona a strong tie and a relationship njengabantu abaphilayo. So ngiyabonga kakhulu, but uNkulunkulu esibusisa esisekela njalo sizazama ukuthi make sure that we have a proper program eyokubonga izakhamizi ezenkulumane together. The honorable MP, I think usendleleni eyokufika. So that's the first remark enlayo eyokubonga kakhulu ezakhamizi kulabo esigijime sonke ku race ka 23 August. Sagijima sonke njalo ku race ka 9 August. Belompono ukuthi labo bayakwanisa ukukhokhela ke isigaba esenkulumane wa 22, but unfortunately abazange benelisi. Tina, our policy yikuthi i-election is there to define and to give a direction to a certain leader. Ayikho nje ukuthi izosixabanisa or isihlukanise labantu. So i-election selaphela khathesi sesikhangelele ukuthi sidile lama issues esiwafesayo esigabeni esikawa 22. Sidile lama sewage, sidile le water crisis and many other things that we are facing as a ward. So we are having an open door policy. Even kuma comrades sitting ngama comrades ngasi ku politics who tried to run the race but failed. We can still engage sisebenze sonke as long as it benefits ontanga ogogo labokhulu lezakhamizi ezika 122, nothing else. So ngicho khonoko siqala umhlangano ukuthi kucaca ukuthi ama jacket e politics lana esaswagqokile ay yellow, ay green, ay black, whatsoever color aphele mhla ka-9 December, aphela mhla ka-23 December. Khathesi sesukhandele ukuthi sibone ukuthi uwa 22 uNkulumane lasenketha singayenza njani ukuthi ethuthuke. Liyakwazi ukuthi we are facing so many challenges. esingeke ukuthi siwa discuss for now, but it needs us sibambele njengezakhamizi njengama forces regardless of political party esivela kiyo. So ngitsho khonoko ngamazwi acacayo ukuthi akusela ZANU PF, akusela ZAPU, akusela ama independent, akusela Triple C. So kulo Ward 22 Nkulumane izakhamizi. So every agenda that we are going to put first and forward is the agenda of the residents of Ward 22. Then political agendas later. So bengifuthi ngikhume khonoko as my point number 2 in my welcome remarks. Okwesithathu kungenjayelo ukuthi uCouncilor every month uba lama feedback meetings. The purpose of a feedback meeting to believer in a communicative society. Kuqakatheke kakhulu isikhampeni, I think I remember ukuthi sathi thina sizathandeka, sizathumeka, sizathembeka, sizathinteka. All those 4 pillars they drive us back to the core value communication. So ukucommunicate ukuhlala sihlangana nje njengezakhamizi ukukhansela lama squad lezakhamizi nje in general, lama business people, lama organizations akhona lapho kuyasinceda ukuthi sibe a strategic plan ebuya ivela kini izakhamizi. Why we are avoiding I situation yokuthi nxa sesile plan abanye bekhala ukuthi thina bashiye phandle because singabo part A, bashiye phandle because ngama vendors, bashiye phandle because singabafilakazi siyizintandane etc. But we are trying to build a communicative structure ezayenelisa ukuthi wonke umuntu ohlala esigabeni esikawa 22 regardless of age, regardless of race, regardless of sex, sizahlangana sibumbe esigaba sethu. So ngithi uCouncilor gaso boss gaso leader esigabeni, uCouncilor ngomthunya. That's why ngilapho ukuthi sihlale phansi sihlele umnyaka uqala oka 2024 ukuthi singenza njani ukuthi siphushe iward yethu iphambili. Njengoba lani likwazi ukuthi uNkulumane it's a symbol of kings and queens. So nxa sikhuma ngoBulawayo singakhuma ngoNkulumane sabe sesiphamanisile. So we are trying to restore that dignity and pride, and we can do it sizakhamizi sihlangene. That's why meeting le iqhakatheke kakhulu to people like us ukuthi sizwe imponeni zakhamizi ukuthi what best can we do about the water crisis ekobulayo. Thina sikhula sisiye esikolweni, I remember very well ngisemtshane primary school lapha namanzi ayiphuma etapini clean, but right now depend on ama balls etc. So nxa sesihlanje so njengezakhamizi, then we can then talk, discuss, sibe le mbono ukuthi how best can we improve ama situations esihlangana esigaba. So that's the purpose of this meeting. So number 1, it's a feedback meeting. Thina besikhangelela ukuthi from 23 August up to date siyasoke se-office, but we got sibe lama disturbances as you know ukuthi politics zethu ezelizweni azikho stable. Njengontanga abasakhula abavela esikolo sijala ukuthi there are political decisions which are affecting impilo ezabantu which are not necessary, but however sesilapho njengesigaba. So i-meeting yethu injongo yayo ngeyokuthi siphanane i-feedback ukuthi from 23 August uCouncilor elamthumayo limthuma ngama agendas yenu lama issues yenu elalilayo wayenzani and usenga. It's a feedback meeting also to say the plans akade elawo uCouncilor from his office in terms of development ewadini usenga. It's also a strategic meeting. It's a strategic plan meeting eyokuthi 2024 uNkulumane Ward 22 ufuka uthatha inyathelo ziphi ukwenza ukuthi isigaba sithuthuke. So sifuka uplana sibe le map yethu sibe kwazi ukuthi from the month of January up to the month of March sikhangelele ukuthi izikolo zethu ezingabo mafele o amaveni enketha primary ezingela ama fence lamanzi simeke sure ukuthi siyalungisisa njengesigaba. From the month of March to June sikhangeleleke ukuthi sibe lama programs athuthukisa impilo zabontanga njengoba selikwazi ukuthi intshengo it has been a turn of the day. Mbani limboli ubhuti wami lapha akuso kufuna kwakhe, is the situation esikhona yikho silapho ukuthi sikulungisisa. So it's a strategic plan meeting ukuthi sibe the charter or a calendar of activities and events uthi lani libe kwazi nxa sihlangana maybe ngoDecember sesihlala phansi sesibona ukuthi ku-2024 besilama plans angu-10 achieve amangaki sesithika the box. That's how we are going to progress. Yikho esikhangelele ukuthi sikwenze esigabeni. Last and foremost si-invite uMayor owe-City of Bulawayo uDavid Coltart why sim-invitile ulompono omngcono in terms of amanye ama-projects esiwenzayo njenge-council. Ulompono ongcono in terms of course abantu bayakhala ukuthi i-billing is system yethu abantu sebesicharger imali eziningi, amanzi ahlupha, imisebenzi akula, kulezibi everywhere. Ulompono omngcono in terms of ukuchasisa ezakhamizi yes vision and plan ukuthi sikhangela ukuthi njengobulawayo collectively singanqoba njani. So mbona nangana usefika pha manje ngiqedise ama remarks am. So that is the agenda. We also invited a member of parliament. The reason why she invited MP kule minye imithetho esisebenza thina ku council esilimita ukuthi siyenze imisebenzi yethu ngendlela omele siyenze ngayo. So kuqhakathekile ukuthi nxa sixoxa sikhuluma uMP la ebebhala ama-notes akhe phansi ukuze nxa sibe ku parliament because imithetho eminingi ilungiswa ngaphi ku parliament. Nxa sibe ku parliament bebekwazi inkulumane wa 22 induma ukuthi A B C D E F G kuyasinceda khona even in terms of delivering ama services kuzakhamizi. So ngiyabonga kakhulu ngokubuya kwenu lapho, ngibonga isikhathi elinginike sona. Maybe just briefly okugcina singakabingeleli uMayor uSenate. This is how we are going to work ku Ward 22. Councillor is just a member of its structure eska Ward 22. Mfuna kuzwakale namuhla. Sizasebenza thina okuthiwa ngama-squad eliba electoral from your respective places or areas. Ama-squad la aqakathekile kithi because yibo abantu abaku-ground abaphila lana every day. So yibo abantu abakwazi ngcono inhlupho zenu elihlangana lazo every day. So they'll be part of the structure of Ega Council through even ama-organizations and ama-associations, ama-residents. Siyakwazi sile bupra le bura. All of those bazabela beyingxenye ye structure or singathi i-government eka councillor ewadini in terms of delivering ama-services. But okuqakathekileyo above all yikuthi lina zakhamizi izikhalazo zenu, ivoice yenu, ilizwi lenu lizwakale, ngenxa lizwakele libe le competent leadership to execute the task. Ama-square. So azasincediswa ngokukhuluma briefly ukuthi i-square asi-representayo isiphi and what are the main challenges akhona.
Uhlupho olakuqala silamanzi asuka enketha 7 eseka umgwaqo oya emganwini odlula enyakatho yegarage. Amanzi lawana engadluli housing office wonke angena ezindlini. Sesileminyaka eminingi siloko sibika udaba olufana nayo. Ngesikhathi esidlulileyo sathi sibika basitshela ukuthi u-engineer owadweba imigwaqo liyana waphambanisa. Sithe sibuyela siyebika futhi basitshela ukuthi i-Econet yagebhela intambo zayo phansi. So akusayenzakali ukuthi kugejwe imigelo ukuthi iqondise yilo uhlupho lokuqala esilalo. Olwesibili engingalubika yikuthi duzani le booster esekela 6 terminal semagrocery laphana. Sesibike sabika asakwazi ukuthi sibike kubani. Kulamanzi ampompozayo. So wedlula 6 months. Even labesikansela abamanzi badlula khona apho nje ezipompozela nje. Kungani sokuze kulesifula esamanzi khona apho. Ungani kakula muntu olendaba lapho. Ngicela ukuthi limvumele ngibike khona. Okunye esilapho kulabantu abadlala isnooker eofisini yama-veteran laphana. Abantu abana bachayisa ebusuku. Kuyasiphambanisa ku-security. Futhi kulomsindo khona phana ukuthi izakhamizi ezikhona phana silala nzima.
Melele isikwe sami ngingatsho asitsho inketha 63 sisikwe kusuka e-primary school kusiza phakathi le nketha igarage. Ngalesi sikhathi sezulu udube silalo esesihlezi lalo iminyaka ngeke ngakufaka futhi la ku group ngizama ukuthi ngizwisise ukuthi singancedisana njani ngalolu udubo. Ludubo lokuthi kanti umthetho bani okhona ekutheni nxa silamajuraholi ethu amanzi ayama emayadini, esemile emayadini abanye babhoboza amajuraholi abo ukuthi amanzi ayadlula ahambe kuhle sibili, kodwa kabanye ezakhamuzi kazibhobozanga, njalo ungazuzama ukuthi uxoxisane labo ukuthi singabi lamanzi ama-1 engangeni ezindlini damage impahla zabantu. Ngaba-cooperate, ngabazwisisani lathi, bese siswela-ke ukuthi udubo lolu siluse kabi. Njalo esikucelayo ukuthi ikhansili yama-bylaws ayo athini ngodaba lokubhoboza izikhala ukuthi amanzi angami 1 ndawo. Singaphathiseka khonapho, ngibona ngani kwesami isikweli siyabe sesilunqobile udubo. Okwesibili, ezibhoraneni la ngalini izulu lona leli kuyagcwala amanzi ku-area eyesibhorani, okokuthi leso sokuyisicelo sokuthi kungagqitshwa njani sithole ihlabathi engasivalela ukuthi amanzi angami ezibhoraneni, ngoba sokusiba lamachibi lodaka kuphinde kungasahambeki. Yisi isikhalazo sethu engicela ukuthi lisikhangelele sona.
Mina bengithi mhlawumbe uzabiza umhlangano wama-squares amtshele inhlupho alazo kuma-square aso, kungakabi lo mhlangano onje wezakhamizi athe sesiza ethwele izinto esilazo thina ema-square. Khathesi isquare ngasinye ngasinye sile problem. Ngingayilandisa yami problem, ngizathatha almost 20 to 30 minutes ngikhuluma ngeproblem. Kanti ngabe silo councilor singama-squares loba besingachayelwa ngo-8 o'clock bekungela ndaba lapha silabo mama kumele bayepheka before 6, sizaphuma ngayo 6 sikhuluma ngama-problems ethu. Esikweni ke sami mphathi ngile problem, ngabona umgwaqo lo kuthiwa ngisakhile uyawubona. Mina ngingapha kukasakhile, nxa usiza kuwona lo mgwaqo engukuwo amanzi ayehla kulo mgelo owagejwa siwavalela ngesikhathi sikakhansila owayekhona uma ngena iminyaka yonke kwakuthi nxa kuza kuna izulu ubuye abantu bazegebha umgelo lona bakhuphe into yonke sivale umgelo. Now sokungafika 5 years kungasagejwa, amanzi sengena ezindlini zabantu. Ngabona ikhansili izeyaza bhoboza kwezindawo ukuthi amanzi edlule. Konsithi lokhu singakubika sibili, kodwa uzathatha isikhathi ukuthi akuzwisise la ukhansili. Bekufuna ukuthi ngasilaye simtshengisa futhi ukuthi esikwene esinje nantu uhlupho alubone, ngoba ngazulu ubhale phansi lapho kasoza kwazi ukuthi ngikhuluma ngayo.
Ezidlala phandle la ziningi kakhulu, njalo mina befisa ukuthi ukhansila wethu esibhalele amabhakani abhale ukuthi no dumping, le-fine yangikhona ivalwe emabhakaneni ukuthi $30 fine umuntu elahla izibi lapho ungamelanga zibe khona. Ngoba asobuchapha obuncane obungeva kwethu la, ngeva kwekapaki la silobuchapha obuningi obenzakala overnight, ngoba ubuchapha obulaphana sobubuningi kakhulu. Sicela lisifakele amabhakani abhale no dumping, and then amabhakani lana engabhala no dumping ubhale fine $30 and lasifakele emafonini. Yenze ukuthi abantu abakulahlela izibi bebekwazi ukuthi ukulahla izibi $30 fine.
B square. Sinendawo eleset yezinto iround yakhona kulesibhorane lapho. Now, yona lisettle le. Akula drain. Uma nje izulu lisina. Amanzi ahamba straight phakathi ezindlini zabantu. And sokube nabo councilor abashiyeneyo bayayazi leyo problem. Kodwa asikasizakali ngalutho kuleyo ndawo. Kodwa babamangena uke wakhuluma ngokuthi esesengukhansila wathi na i-area yona isettle yona leya ayikho ku plan ye city council. Isettle yona leyo it's not known ku plan ye city council. So that's why lama drain alaphaya awaziwa vele. So kuyindaba eyinkinga enkulu kakhulu ngoba angena zonke leziyani izinto. Ngiyakhumbula last year kuyaba lo msindo amanzi esengene lapha elokhuzeni endlini agcwala phakathi endlini uthi abhoboze amanzi angene aye ngale umnikazi wendlu engale kwaba ngumsindo omkhulu kakhulu kwatshengisa umnikazi wendlu futhi akekho useHarare kwakhosta ukuthi aze abuye yena kuze kubhotshozwe lapha kodwa amanzi esegcwele endlini bengakwazi ukulala endlini izakhamizi. So silesicelo esikhulu kakhulu kuyona leyo area. Inkinga enkulu ukuthi kuthiwa isettle yona leya ezindlini leziya azikho ku plan ye city council. Kodwa uma sokunenkinga mhlawumbe abantu bengabhadalanga amanzi kodwa bayaboshwa. Ngitshela ukuthi ayazakali kanjani isettle leyo uma abantu bebotshwa sokule problem lapho. So ke inkinga enkulu kakhulu esibhekene nayo leyo. Now kanti ngale emgwaqweni lo uguqula lo oya enketha high usuka le emgwaqweni lo oya emganwini usuka ngale kunalezi zingadi lezi ezila ubaba uColtart I think uyazazi izingadi leziyana khona laphana kunesibhorane eziyi2 esinye singale thusana nomgwaqo lo oya le emganwini esinye singapha entshonalanga lapha ekucineni kwezingadi. Now isibhorane lesiyana sasile problem ngaso manje. At the moment ngathi siku ward 25 kodwa ngabe kuyi ward 24 olalo. Ngesezakhamizi isibhorane lesiya. Isithengiwe manje indawo leyana. Njoba isithengiwe umnikazi wendawo ethengileyo isibhorane sesingaphansi kwakhe manje. Usesifakela umthetho manje. Awuthoka phansi kona uma kusenzeka useqalisile ukwakha lapha kwenza development lapha manje ungathi wenza isikolo akwacaci kahle kodwa ungathi wenza isikolo isibhorane sesikhona lapha enza khona ilokuzeni yakhe into yakhe ayakhayo lapha sesiphakathi isibhorane okokuthi siyizakhamizi sokunzima manje ukuthi siclaime ukuthi isibhorane ngesithi kodwa ngese community sona isibhorane ngese community kodwa manje usethenge indawo yonke yona leya. So ke sinenkinga yokuthi usesifakela umthetho ukuthi na uyavala lapha manje njengoba evale sefake le fence sokuzokwenza ukuthi na kwesinye isikhathi ngabo 5 noma kusiya ku 6 7 kube avale lapha kungabi labantu abangenwa besiyathatha amanzi. Now izakhamizi bese senze njani ke ngoba amanzi ziwathatha khona lapha since amanzi engekho njengamanje. Kanti khona lapha futhi same time kuguqula kwabo emgwaqweni kwabo isibhorane singaphakathi kunomgelo lapha umgelo lwana lokwagcilwa ukugejwa ngesikhathi kusesenguba umangena awukazi ugejwe manje ende kublokile lapha kunamanzi afana aphume ngaphansi lapha komgwaqo achaphe ayengale kuvalekile manje amanzi uma sokuvalele lapha ayabuya ngapha manje ezindlini lezi ezingapha agcwale ezindlini zethu lapha. So silenkinga enkulu ukuthi na siyadinga usizo lapha but inkinga esinayo njengamanje ukuthi na kukuside ye ward 25 manje kodwa i-problem affecta thina esiku ward 22 njengamanje. Uma manje sokugcwele lapha umkhelwa amanzi agcwala abuye azengena ezindlini zethu ngapha. Kanti nalapha futhi okukhona imthova zisiya 8-10 khona lapha kule bridge elingenisa amanzi ngaphansi uthi aye emgqelweni wona lwana osuleminyaka ungagejwa nakhona kublokile amanzi uma egcwala lapha angena ezindlini sinenkinga enkulu kakhulu asikwazi ngasizakala kanjani kodwa siyakholwa ukuthi uma sizibika lezi zinto zizolungiseka ngeke ngamthatha uCouncilor ngambonisa lapha kule settle ngambonisa khona sine problem enje wakhona wathi hey lapha kulomsebenzi omkhulu la so ngisho ukuthi bathandikayo siyaludinga usizo olukhulu kakhulu ikakhuluma kuthiwa izindlu lezi ezikusettle azaziwa azikho kuplan ye-city council kuthi okunye sisazokubona physically sesikukhangela
angazi ukuthi kungenziwa ndlela bani elingasisiza ngayo bakhokheli ngoba lapha phandle la kulobuzima sibili obukhona ngoba sesihlangana le doti yonke ingcekeza yonke emaphephabhekini ngenxa yokuthi abantu abathengisayo ngibona ngani abasela zindawo abahlala kizo eziqondileyo wonke umuntu usezihlalisa everywhere sebechiya indawo abazihlaliswayo and indawo lezi kazisela abantu lapho ekuthengiselwa khona nxa sebehlezi lapho abazihlalise khona sebesenzela ingcekeza emaphephabhekini uthola indawo yonke nxa ususithi uyathi ufica amaphephabheki alengcekeza usuzibuza ukuthi nxa ingcekeza leyani njana sizagcina sesilomkhuhlane bani usuthola impendulo yokuthi siyagcina sesilekolera njengezakhamuzi okwesibili ngikhangelele ukuthi itoilet yethu leyi njengesakhamuzi sala isincedise thina njengezakhamuzi ekuthini irent yakhona yokuthi singene phakathi laphana ibe ncane intengo yakhona engxenye yikho kudala ukuthi abantu bayenza ingcekeza emaphephabhekini kayibe khona sibili charge yokungena laphana kodwa engxenye nxa ingaba yi-R1 ingasisiza ngokuthi nxa uthengisa laphana iprofit yakhona ukuthi yenele ukuthi uyengena laphana nxa kuyikuthi yi-R5 kumbe $1 kakuvumi so besikhangelela ukuthi nxa ingaba yi-R1 kwesinye isikhathi kungasisiza ukuthi kusincedise ukuthi kungabi lengcekeza leyana ephandle okwesibili besicela ukuthi sincedisane labantu abasebenzayo emsebenzini lo wokusincedisa ezibini ngoba sikhangele kakhulu isigaba sethu sesingcolile izakhamuzi zilahla everywhere ingcekeza uyathola ivini kuphambi kwamabrosa khona phana umuntu uthwele iphepha lakhe wafika wakutula izibi wathatha isaka lakhe wabuyela endlini ingcekeza lana yabihlangene yonke into izithwala yonke into vele ingcekeza yonke ayikhiphe yadini ngabe yamahlamvu kumbe kuyini uthola ukuthi kuyabe sokulempethu khona kukhana kubuya futhi ekudleni khona okwesikuthengayo okuzasidalela futhi ikholera yona leyana ledaliya so angazi ukuthi kungenziwa cebo bani ukuthi kumbe sithole amapolisa asikhangelele esigabeni sethu ukuthi asilindele abantu bona laba bayenza into enjengayona leyo ukuthi bajeziswe ngoba izibi umabhimu uyabuya every week ukuthi silahle izibi zethu ngendlela eqondileyo kodwa thina kasivumelani lapho silahla everywhere so ebesikucela ukuthi sibe lamapolisa akhangeleyo ukuthi sibophe labo bantu abayesenzela ingcekeza esigabeni ukuze singabi nomkhuhlane okunye njalo besicela usizo kakhulu phakathi kwesigaba ukuthi sisizakale njengokuthi njengoba silama-squares ethu asisize ekuthini asikhulumele lezakhamuzi zethu ukuthi abantu uma belahla ingcekeza lokhuyana kusidalela umkhuhlane mbona ngani lenye indlela futhi engasisiza kakhulu ngikhala kakhulu ngengcekeza ngoba kathesi sikhangelane nomkhuhlane we-diarrhea ama-square ethu asisize kubizeni izakhamuzi basikhuzele zona ngenxa yokuthi abantu nxa belahla idoti lapha ngike ngezwa omunye ekhuluma labomama abasebenza la uthi lina lifundanga vele kumele lenze khonokho yikho lilahlile ingcekeza leyo so khona futhi ukuthi sile-challenge enkulu ezibini
mina ngingokawadi 22 kuma-17 khona pha lama-18 lama-16 whatsoever but lapha nasilo thina kuma-17 izibi abantu bakamlimi laba bathi bayathanyela bayazama sibili ngendlela zonke abazenzayo kodwa ubuchapho obulaphana ubuya abantu abavela le ngale kweroma bezochithela izinto ebusuku Sasibezwe sithi kodwa abantu bethe uzabulawa ngabantu phela. So into enjengaleyo bakithi siyacela councillor usincedise. Uthi kuthiwe ngiyabhazama abantu bakamlimi abathanyelayo. Kusale kuclean sibili mzukwana bethanyela kodwa ebusuku bakhona abantu abavela le sasizoyenza izimota sezigudula kwapha. Imota sesikwini ikambe sure kuyabe kuyini khona. Abantu bashiye kuclean kodwa kuyakusasa kungasaqeda kathi kusihlahla abantu. Bantu asingazi ukuthi singenzani bakithi councillor ukuthi sincedakale. Ukuze kuphume idoti leya kuzobuya imgelo sakhela imgelo thina lapha imgelo naleya kumbe abantu abangaphi ngapha nxa izulu sinaso utshani buyabuya bubunanga ngeke izulu ziyabuya zinenga ngazi zithi ngqe thina sekugcineni kwamalayini zithi ngqe khapha angazi ukuthi singancedakala njani enalani indawo silesicelo sibili ukuthi nxa singancediswa ngoba la abathanyelayo sibabantu bakamlimi basebenza kodwa laba babuya bechitha izibe ebusuku hayi.
Known as Mtizo, the peacemaker, the chairman of Nkulumane FM radio station eseMontrose. Kodwa today ngoke ibachelor education ni representa izikolo zonke ezilapha esigabeni sethu. Ngingu chairperson we-SDC eNkulumane High School. Mina enza kutsho ukuthi izikolo zethu nxa ngokhangele badala talking to our leadership laba abasivakatsheleyo. Firstly, it was about security in our schools. Way back thina sithe sifunda besilama fence, but now we no longer have those fence in our schools, every school in our community. Engicelayo kini badala ukhokhela ukukhona ukuthi siqale sikhangelele njalo especially in our schools ukuthi isifakele security like ama-policy door like ikufakwayo kulezi nsuku akusafakwa ama-fence ngoba i-fence ivele izatshotshwa. So ngikhangelele ukuthi abantwana bethu abasekho safe in terms of if nxa besesikolo wonke umuntu usekhona ukudlula laphana uyathola abantu behlezi bayathandana khona apha esikolo bayenza everything abayenzayo. So that was my first isicelo from you as our mayor and the leadership of our community. Okwesibili ngizakhulumela about sporting activity like noma grounds at high school, our sporting grounds, they're no longer active. It's all our schools, they are like ngamabush likhaya. We no longer have those. If you look at our schools around our community, look at Nkulumane High School, it's the top high schools national level of basketball. Nkhangele emaveni, imafela football, they are top school rated schools. But when I look at our schools, I see them grounds that can make our kids be playing ball. We could change how they can play sporting activities. So instead of saying this long say grounds maybe put a hub. Like I look at the primary ground level. There's a big space there. Nankai sporting hub for everyone, whereby you put football ground, you put netball, put tennis, basketball, everything. Our community got talent, but I mean, everything. We don't have youth center. Why I'm saying so, as a youth center, whereby to me, will make sense. But if we have our own hub in our area, I think everything will be sorted out. But if we have all those things in our community, I guess everything who's a participator, as a total. So I think a presentation here is a food Jalo being presented for everything, but since we're talking about education, I'll stop there. But then we tell her that place, the we are in Nkulumane, that place, we still this family place was still involved in education. They want to have it, but everything. izuliyana kuyagcwala lapha. Can you clear off that place? Kube clean, kube smart. Because abantwana bathola nzima right now to come to the schools. So bakunabe border ngale, so it makes it easy or the one isiba nzima ukuya esikole.
Mina ngingu-Andile Sizibani, ngisakhamizi khona lapha eNkulumane 5. I'm going to be representing the youth. So this is a report that is directed to the mayor and the councillor. I am going to be using English. Please forgive me for that. I come today because within the Nkulumane society, we are in a battle of redemption, so that the community can be in a walk, or rather a lane of betterment. We are faced with a lot of problems, but the problem I have specifically chosen to identify and sabotage are as follows. Drug and substance abuse, unemployed graduates, forced early marriages. These are problems I would love to look into. Before I continue with my mission, I would love to greet you all and honor the time I've been given to tackle on the issues listed above. Drug and substance abuse is defined as the illegal use of foreign substances to the body with the aim to be subconscious or unaware of your surroundings. The statistics have been gradually increasing rather than decrease, and therefore it has been brought to my attention that protests and acts should be done in order to help the youth. The causatives for this are peer pressure, lack of entertainment, availability of drugs, and many more. We can eliminate those issues with educating the youth around us on the effects of drug abuse. Those effects are as follows: lung cancer, heart disease, cancer, and mental health conditions. Moving on with the other issue that needs to be discussed, unemployed graduates. As we have all been groomed under the saying, education is the key to success. But after educating the youth, what happens? No job avenues, frustrated graduates, and a frustrating lifestyle. Hence, I say to the future of the country, it's the youth, and motivation is created by entrepreneurs and investors to the market. And for that, I suggest we need an agent of change. Again, as I have exhausted my points on unemployment, moving on with our next focus being forced early marriage. Situations and circumstances force us to be in positions we are not ready to tackle head on, but some push factors cannot be ignored. Family poverty, need for money, poor living conditions, and many more factors that push us to settle for something we are not prepared for. Due to this, a lot of dreams are shattered, and we have escalated cases of depression. Today, I opt for a better future for the youth, as we are the future. I say, once bitten, twice shy. We are aware of the problem we are faced with as a community, and today I pledge for change. We hope for a more enthusiastic and a better place to stay in. We hope for more drug and substance abuse awareness campaigns and detailed education, so as to alert the victims of drug and substance abuse. We hope to encourage the girl child in the society to be more independent and more empowered rather than pushed to marriage. We hope for business opportunities also that will lead to job creation. Our long walk to freedom begins today, and therefore I say the fight is ours.
Ngoba bebancane kodwa kimi sebebakhulu ngoba bamele impilizwe. Isikhalo sami bantu abangeso ukuthi khona ngisiphofu ngiqamukile ngiyabhalwa kokuphela angaze ngithole lutho. Bengifisa ukuthi ngikhulume la abadala bami bona yikho okundlethela lapha ngihambi ngisiphofu. Kuphela ngulandayo ukuthi ke ngizwe ukuthi kanti kuphiwa abanjani. Khalazo sami ngisole somuntu abantu abami engisithulu ukuthi ke ngizwe
sife kuphiwa akanjani siyabhalwa ezindlini sibhalwe kodwa sisuzile sibhalwe asisuzile bakithi bantu bakithi siyacela ukuthi kele sizwele njengokuba la kade kunzima ngapha kunzima ngaphandle lapha kunzima bababonayo othi nalokufukela senzeni sihluleka ukuthi senzeni njalo ubaba uyamele ukuthi kuphathela nini ngapho lithelele amanzi akhona awakho njalo le mali yakhona iphezulu siyehluleka zibhofula siyehluleka yiso kuphela isikhalazo sindleke khonapha abantu abami njalo ngithenya ukuthi abantu abami ngoba samiyisalukazi eseminyakeni edlulayo yikho lokhu engikulandileyo bantwana bomntana
in 20 years to come, yithi thina selesingena abadala bonke lapho siyasibasebenza kodwa it is unfair that phakathi kwezibuye ezingama-29 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 uzadobha to you to speak for us. It is unfair because the mayor will not come here frequently. The mayor is the mayor of Bulawayo. He has to attend every location in Bulawayo. So this is the only time to express ourselves that way. Sometimes we have to think of innovative ideas because we know that some solutions are not practical for the council. Because we know the amount of the budget which is being given to the council. These halls, every location has a hall to use. But in every hall, every day, you cannot ignore that. But in these halls, we are paying for them to use this. These halls can double as art centers. These halls can double as community hubs. This is a ground outside there. We can build hubs which can cater for artists, which can cater for scientists, which can cater for everything. But the issue that is there is that when we come to these meetings, we are expecting to give our whole budget. Usually, but many of us are not here not because they are doing drugs. We are not here because our data is escalating. Several started telling about our playing with that. Okwesibili asikho lapha kwazi sizokhuluma kodwa kuzosidangela phansi emhlanje. So ukuthi efoni isakini uyatheka uhamba nini ebheki uhamba nini ekwisiphephe ukuthi umuntu omdala sikhanyeleke yini iqiniso kodwa abadala selesithathe sisibeke right now when we are talking about this issue of the house we have approached churches and people about we are not being allowed to use those churches for arts. But we are seeing the council continuously speaking about churches there. It's like our churches always speaking bad to give. But each church has to make you good, not only make you feel good. Our churches there, if you are you have to go where so so please let us be practical about these solutions. Let us take these solutions which is so practical and so innovative, so that we are thinking, oh, my councillor is going to do this, my councillor is going to do this.
Thank you so much. I think uPutu ukhulume kuhle. Bengikhalela ukuthi isection lesingene ekucineni. Ngaze sikhuma i-action plan. Because one of my urgent issues ngeyama youth, because I'm also a youth. I know what we are going through. So I was looking towards it after Umea Esekretile, then we deal with the in-house in terms of action plan. Because we are looking towards to have a youth in-house, whereby we meet as young people, going at any age, then we talk, we plan.
Abavota withi abancane bendi abavotela ngapha intanga evota withi abadala sivotela abantu abethu ukuthi izilungu kodwa at the end of the day abasasinanzi enzama ukuthi ngikutsho embe mfuna ukuthi ngikukhulume badala bami i-city council ngayisiphathi kahle. I-city council ikatsha amabhukwana ngoba abantu ababuthi izibi laba, abantu ababuthi izibi uma ungazondanga khona apho izibi abathatha. Yikho libona izibi kwesikhathi phongo ulahlwa anyway. Ngoba uzafaka esakeni, isakana khona baleyise ngabazali idophi. Bona abana abantu elibaqhathayo lina ngathi i-city council indaba ngenyanga ingathenga imota yayo. 1 month. Kule mali ibhadala abantu ababuthisi. Ngoba abantu abana izibi abathatha, bathatha izibi zamabhukwana abazifuna. Ungafaka esakeni ngabathatha. Bawutshela ukuthi lokhu kunzima lokhu ngapha. Angikwazi ukuthi babe so ngicela ukuthi umeya nje bekhona anyathawa. Uyakwazi ukuthi impilo yezibi ngabathatha. Kathi esikhala ngekholera, ikholera yena lana ikhozwa ukuthi izibi kazibuthwa abadala. Izibi kazibuthwe councilor. Silikhethele khona ukuba
Moyo ndekwana. Into enzisa ubuhlungu ama-companies avala akulamsebenzi. Nxa uwodita tamatisi lakho imali yakuyibolekile. Uthola umuntu sekotela esikansi, uthatha amatamatisi yakho uyabheka. Uzayibisela ngani imali yalo? Akulamsebenzi phela la. Siphila ngokuthengisa. Ifees sizuze ukuthengiseni. Ukuthi ngidli isitshwala lapha ngizuze ukuthengiseni. Ukuthi ngiyabhadala irent ngizuze ukuthengiseni. Kodwa bona umuntu ebuye kuphuma ebuthi impahla lezane ehamba lazo. Uzisa ngaphi? Ziya ngaphi? Uzambona sikelela amatamatisi endlini yakhe siyapheki angamatamati uyakwazi ukuthi ungathethe uyakwazi ukuthi ngiboleke kubani imali le ake niyekeleni ukuthathela abantu izinto bathi besithi council lisiyashaya lisisha ngiyama khonapho mina vele kwanda ala antikizeli futhi angesabi
la council bethu uzakhuluma indaba yesibhorana ubaba wakhuluma ukuthi umuntu uyathenga indawo ayithi abayile isibhorana ngithi mhlawumbe uzaphendula lapha ngoba nasilokhu ngesibhorana silapha ekhaba keduze nandlela ekhaba abanye abasebenza bathathe ngomsebenzi uawoka fikela lapha ngo8 uthi awukhamaza utshela ukuthi usesechayile safety motor zakho kanti waye ngazange ithenge indawo leyo ngokuthi sefence yakhe wathi isibhorana singoba ngesakhe yini this lady stay with council.
Siyabonga in addition kulokho sokukhulunyiwe bemfisa ukuthi uMr Mayor asiphendule entweni zomgwaqo i-road management izulu liyana kulama pothole njani besicela ukuthi likukhangelisise kakhulu khonokho. Then another thing amanzi la esiwanathayo is something else. Sicela isincedise khonapho.
Would allow me to speak to you in English this afternoon. Is that all right? Thank you. Siyabonga. Honourable Member of Parliament, Councilor Moyo, ladies and gentlemen. It's almost 24 years since I was elected Member of Parliament in the neighbouring constituency, where I spent a lot of time in Nketa Hall, which is a similar hall to this. 24 years have gone by. And events like this afternoon are very important for me to be brought up to date by you about the issues that you are facing. Councillor, I'm grateful that you have invited me. This is the first report back, because I think that I know what the issues are, but it is only when you meet with people that we hear what is close to their heart. So this is very important. I want to make one point very clear to you, right at the beginning, before I respond to your issues. Far too often in this country, politicians make promises that they know they cannot keep. And the reason I started going back 24 years to 2000 is because of a deep sense of sadness in my mind and heart because in so many ways things have gone backwards. The fact that you are only getting water every 6 days, when in 2000 you would have got water every day, is not an indication of progress. It is the opposite. And so I'm very sober. I hope you can see today. I'm not coming here to make promises that cannot be kept, because we have got so much work to do. And Councillor, I've heard what you've said about sports hubs and things like that, and those are all very important. But I want to respond first of all by painting a picture for you all of the state of our city. Because it would be wrong for me to come today to say to you that everything is fine. That yes, we'll do this, we've listened, and to go away and do nothing. I don't want to do that. I don't want to depress you, but it is important that you know the facts. The number one fact today is that our city is owed a vast amount of money. In our council meeting on the 3rd of January, we reported that the city is owed $51 million in unpaid rates. Some of that is from government departments. Some of that is from companies. But most, 31 million, is owed by residents. And it is a problem. Without money, we can say to you that we will supply water and fix roads and build sports centers, but it'll be a lie. The problem that we face is that people don't have water. Their roads are breaking, their houses are being flooded, and they are saying, well, why do we pay the city council rates when we do not see anything in return? It's like anything. If you go to your vendor, if you pay your dollar, you want to get proper vegetables back. If you are given old vegetables, you don't want to go back to that vendor the next time and pay. Isn't that, it's human nature. So we have a problem. We are not delivering services, but we are not getting money in. And my plea to you, all of you, today is you've got to give us a chance. You've got to give me, you've got to give the councillor a chance to fix things. We cannot fix things unless people pay their rates. So please, number one, I know it's tough. I know economic situations are bad, but we need people to pay rates. And you need to go from this meeting and tell everyone, please, pay your rates so that we can try and deal with it. I want to give you a pledge today. I and my fellow councillors are doing everything to make sure that when you pay your money, we protect your money and we spend it properly. That we don't put it in our back pocket. All right? So that has to be, it's like a marriage between a man and a wife. You both got responsibilities. Residents have responsibilities. Council has responsibilities. We ask you to pay your rates. We are pledging, I am pledging as leader to protect your money so that we spend it properly. That if we find, and I've told our councillors, if I find any councillor, any member of staff who's wanting to put money in their back pocket, I will work as hard as I can to remove them. So please, that's number one. Number two, I want to speak about what is the most important thing for anyone: food and water. Isn't that true? We can't help you with food, we're not farmers. But we have the responsibility to supply water. And I need to tell you the truth. We face a major crisis. You are seeing it because you're not getting water for 5 or 6 days. You're seeing it now. The reason for that is because as a council, we have not invested in the dams, in the pipelines, in the pumps. We need to. I regret to tell you, we have had decades of neglect, decades of not investing. Now, the government has said that our answer is Gwashangani. And Gwashangani, I want to say to you, is a good project in future. But it is very expensive. And it is going to take a long time to get that water here. So we, just this last week, have resolved as a council on urgent measures that we need to take. I met with Dr. Masuka, the Minister of Lands and Water, on the 3rd of January. And on Friday, I wrote a detailed letter to him, a 5-page letter setting out what our short, medium, and long-term goals are. I'm not going to spend all your time this afternoon going through, but I want to give you confidence that we are focused on water. Water is my number one priority. If we don't deliver water, if we don't improve the situation, we can talk about everything else, but we die. We need water. So if you want to know the details, speak to your councillor. I just want to give you that assurance that we are working hard. We are telling government this is an emergency. It is a crisis. And we need to rehabilitate Nyamandlovu. We need to get extra pipelines. We need to get pumps. We need to do all these things urgently so that we get the water to you. Number three, I'm speaking about rates. I'm speaking about water, number two. Number three, a number of you spoke about dumping, and the lady at the back there, a related issue about vendors and moving vendors out. I want to speak about the two together. We have a major problem in our city. We are littering our city. We are turning it into a dump. It goes against all our culture. It also makes it very difficult for us to attract investment in, to get businesses in, because when they come here, they see litter everywhere. They say these are disorganized people. And we have to change that. But it's not that easy. We only have a few refuse trucks working. We are ordering more. I heard what you said about bins, but I want to look at more at skips, you know, the big skips. And we are looking at trying to provide much bigger skips that we can put here so that people can come and dump in the skips, and we have vehicles that take the skips away. That is the one thing that we're looking at. But we all have a responsibility on dumping. I heard a number of you, I think this lady here, who was saying that people from the other ward are coming here. I understand that, but we are also dumping ourselves. So it starts with each of us. We need to be educating each other. We also need to be policemen and women. We have fines. If you see a car dumping or someone dumping, take a photograph, report it to your councillor. We are following up, particularly with cars, because we can look at the registration number and go and find those people. I'm also speaking to the police and the municipal police because we need to find people. We have bylaws and we need to find people who are dumping like this. But let me come to the related issue of vendors. If you go into the center of town, we have a massive problem in Fifth Avenue. With vendors all over, it is a health risk. It is giving a very poor picture of our city in Fifth Avenue. We need to change that, but we can't do that overnight. The vision that I'm trying to sell is based on what we have at Egodini. We are making progress now on Egodini. Much progress. We've made more progress in the last 3 to 4 months than we have in the last 3 to 4 years. What we want to do at Egodini and elsewhere, and I look here at Nkulumane, is to build what I term roofed markets so that we can get vendors undercover with water, with power, with toilets, not just at Egodini, but close to town in the north and the east, but also throughout every single suburb, so that we draw people away from the center. And I want to come to the point of young people. You were talking about business hubs. I've been inspired looking at Makakoba. I don't know if you've been to Makakoba Market. Makakoba Market has greatly inspired me because it is being used as a center for people to use their skills. You can go and get mining equipment there. People take tires and they repurpose tires into hoists, and they're making wheelbarrows. You can buy wheelbarrows at Makakoba Market, the local people. And I think that that's what we've got to do. We've got to support these areas, but they need to have an area which is secure. When you have an area like this with plastic, the rain gets in, thieves can get in, it's an unsafe environment. But I want to say this is not going to happen overnight. I say to my family, I'm not involved in a sprint. I'm not running the 100 meters sprint. This is a marathon. For me, it's 5 years. We're not going to achieve this in days or weeks or even months. It is going to take years. But the start has to begin now. Okay. Let me go through some of the issues. The drainage issue around houses. Once again, I have to be honest with you, Councillor. You know from our budgets that what has been mentioned about drainage is mentioned in every single ward in the city. If I was to say to you, don't worry, next week we're going to come and we're going to dig those drains or even give that contract, I would be misleading you. I have noted this, but I want to speak to you about what I term a spirit of self-reliance. If we are going to turn our city around, if we're going to turn our city into the best city in Africa, it starts with us. Just the same with litter, it starts with us, not dumping litter, so with drainage. If every person keeps outside their house clean, if young people can be organized to dig the drains, we can't promise that we can pay. That would be wrong. I know it's not what you want to hear. I'm sure you would want me to say, don't worry, we'll have money, we'll come in with money, and I can't guarantee that. But what we need is a spirit of community, Ubuntu, self-reliance, so that if we have houses that have a particular problem with flooding, that we try to start by collectively doing that. I'm not rejecting this completely. I think what we have to do, Councillor, is look at where there are the worst examples of flooding, so that we can try and come in with a JCB to help. But we can't promise everyone. So what I urge you to do is look at the worst possible areas, but where it's occasional flooding, we've got to try and encourage people to dig the drains and also to clear the drains. Often drains are blocked with litter. There's plastic under drains. And then the water comes and the mud comes, and if you take the plastic out, the drains will work better. But all of us can start outside our own houses. So a combination of two. Please do what you can to keep your houses clean and outside your houses clean. Please do what you can to clear your drains. I think one person spoke about changing the bylaws to make that a law. And I like that idea. We will look at that. Thank you for whoever made that suggestion. Security lights, where's the gentleman from the schools? Security lights in schools and sports fields. As you know, I was Minister of Education. What I see going on in our schools makes me angry. But once again, I can't mislead you. There is a limit to what we can do. I think that the answer lies not so much in every single school, because there simply aren't the resources. The answer lies in these sports hubs, so that in this ward you have one sports hub. When I was MP for Nketa and Bulawayo South, we built cricket nets next to Nketa Hall. I don't know if they're still there, but we built the nets so that people could come from everywhere to a center and use one center, and all the schools could use. But sir, it's one of these things. I'm talking about a marathon. It's not a sprint. I have noted that. This city used to be renowned for its youth centers, for its playgrounds, right across the high-density suburbs. Many of these playgrounds, the playgrounds aren't working. People have planted crops in the places that used to be playgrounds for children. I have noted it. We are going to have to work on it, but it's not a priority. I've spoken about the priorities. There was a point about repurposing halls to help young people. I was speaking to the Honourable Member of Parliament about this and he was saying that often these halls are used by NGOs during the week. Certainly, we need to take up this idea to see what council property there is in this ward. How, if possible, can we use council property to help particularly artists, artistic work, cultural work? as a stepping stone. But I come back to the notion of the big markets. Those need to be our hubs. And looking forward, we need to try and, I don't know what access to the internet there is here. Is there much? No. The internet is critical for young people. If young people have good access to internet, and perhaps that's something that we look at in our halls, to try and get internet in halls, where young people can perhaps come and use their talent to get onto the internet. So these are ideas that we need to take forward. And the same with the SME Center you were raising. I want to come back to the lady at the back there about being kind to vendors. Ma'am, can you acknowledge me? That lady at the back. Ma'am, you, that lady there. Please stand up, ma'am. Ma'am, you are asking for us to be kind towards vendors, if I understood you correct. Is that right? I want to tell you, and the councillor will confirm this, that I have said to the town clerk, and I've said in open council sessions, and I said this at my annual church service for the mayor in October, that we have a duty to look after the vulnerable people. We understand that most vendors do not want to be vendors. If they were able to be in formal employment, that was where they would be. They've been forced to become vendors because of the wider economic conditions. I understand that. I understand that. And so I've said time and time again, I don't want to see harsh conduct against vendors. But once again, it is a relationship. What we need from vendors is to go to the designated centers. There are many vending sites throughout the city that are not taken up because vendors want to go to the center of the city. It can't work that way. And that's why soon we are opening Egodini. There will be 400, in the first phase, 400 vending sites opened up. And when you go to Egodini, you will see from the new design, it's completely covered. There are lockable places where vendors can put their wares overnight. There are good toilets at Egodini. There is water at Egodini. And our vision is step by step to try and get similar places throughout the city. But then vendors need to be disciplined. They need to stick to those areas and not just go everywhere and not dump. So do you see, Mum? It's a relationship. We must be kind to vendors, but vendors must also be responsible. In that way, we can work together and make our city work better and more efficient with more compassion. Finally, potholes and general maintenance. When I was first elected at Nketa, motorists used to pay their car license fees and the money would come to the city council. That has changed. Money for every vehicle on the road that has a license now, that money goes to Harare. It goes to Zenara. Last year, we got back $800,000 from Zenara, paid in RTGS, not even in US dollars. This city needs 15 million US dollars just to maintain our roads. Just to maintain. And we got 800,000 in RTGS. That is why our roads are falling apart. We have raised this. We've raised it with ministers. We are raising it with Zanara. The Deputy Mayor recently met with the head of Zanara. We need fairness in the city, in the country. What money we pay for our cars here must come back to our cars, for our cars to use here. And Honourable MP, I ask you to raise that in Parliament. We can't have our money going to Harare, not coming back here, and then we get blamed for our roads where we can't maintain. So, I want to be honest once again. I can't look you in the eye, sir, and say I can't say to you, your roads are going to be repaired tomorrow because we don't have enough money. We are trying to do what we can with the little money that we've had. But until there is equity, until there's fairness in the country, and our wealth stays here, we're not going to be able to do it. But what we are trying to do is to look at how we can spend the little money we have better, and to make sure once again that it doesn't go into someone's back pocket, that it is actually spent on roads. That we can promise you. I need to end. Let me end on this note. I want to make a personal pledge to you. I can't promise to fix your roads, to get your water back to every day tomorrow. I can't promise youth centres. The one thing that I and the rest of the councillors can promise to you is that we are going to work as hard as we can. I want you to have, please, the right expectations. Some people have said that I should be called Mlogizi. Yeah. And I've said, you don't give that name to a person now. You can perhaps give that name in 5 years' time, at the end. All right? If we work together, we can overcome these problems. We can fix the city. But we need to understand, we need to be realistic and understand that these problems are deep, deep, deep rooted. They are going to take a lot of hard work and they're going to take time. But together we can do it. So long as we work with goodwill together. Siyabonga. So can I respond? What we needed are residents' associations. So we recommend these bylaws, we want these bylaws, and we don't like these bylaws. Let us know, and then we can look at it.
Lapha bengize ukuzovakatsha sihloko ithandekayo ngizoxhasa uJack esebenza sonke at ward level, at council and local government level. Ngisukumele njalo mphathi ohlelo ukuthi ngithiwa ngenze lama closing remarks. So kuthi ukuthi ngiyabonga kakhulu councillor for feedback yakho, and I'm happy that you are the first councillor to call a feedback meeting umnyaka uqala. So asimchalele izandla uJaha kuhle kakhulu. His Worship the Mayor, ngiyafisa, I so much wish if I could call from Parliament a minister to be with me and answer direct to the residents like what the councillor has done to have you with the residents. Thank you so much, Mayor. Aluba kuba lula kakhulu sebethandekayo ukuthi njengoba uJack uCouncillor ebuye lengcwele yedolobho uMayor lami kube lula babanhliziyo ukuthi lami ngimdonse ngale uminister akabuye lapha ezophendula eminye imibuzo. Le umbono owezinara ukuthi ngesikhathi ubaba uColtart usenator isasengu MP imali yayithathwa ezimoteni nxa zibhadala imthelo ihambe edolobheni. Khathesi sokusuka eHarare. And engakutsho ukuthi aso mali kuphela imthelo yezimota eya eHarare. Kunengi kakhulu okweni bazali isizalayo okuhamba kuye kobamba zonke ngale Harare. Kodwa ke ungiphile ingqobe uMayor izoship ukuthi ngeke uraise khona lokho eParliament. I'm sure I will do that as my first task. Ukuthi khona imali yezimota ngamadolobho kayisebenze khona ngale edolobheni. Okunzwisa ubuhlungu okungethusayo yikuthi abadala bacha izandla bathi kuthi ukuthi sengizihithele. Ngiyamele ngikulandele lokhu njengoba kunjalo. Bakithi bengithe ngivakatshile ukuzoxhasa umfowethu lo mayor, but what I know his worship lo councillor yikuthi ke isiqalisile iParliament to process i-Community Development Fund. Just last week, Thursday, it was the deadline to have abantu bebhaliswa abazakuya trainwa per constituency ukuthi kuzahlelwa njani, how they are going to manage the Constituency Development Fund. So there are people who are going to represent our constituency on the second week of February at Rainbow Hotel betrainwa ukuthi imali leza banjwa njani. So engakutsho councillor yikuthi there is CTF that is going to come, and 3 of our members from this constituency are going to attend that meeting. So also kuqakathekile bazali yikuthi kungabuya ilizwi lokukhangelisisa ukuthi kule mali ezabuya iqondane leNkulumane singayifuna ukuthi khona sisebenzise kanjani. Ngizafisa sihlobo ethandekayo njengalokho esikwenzileyo ukubana sisukumele phezulu sizohlela leyo mali ukuthi izasebenza kanjani. Okwakathesi angeke ngithi ukuthi khona kuyabe kuyimali enganani, but I can promise you that the process is starting in 2 weeks time of February seqalile. So ama issues that I have engwaphikileyo councillor issue bridge. I'm sure ligcwele kakhulu inkulumo legcwele kakhulu ku bridge lele lapha la eMafela okuthiwa liyafunakala isifule sasiyingozi. I think ama residents they can prioritize that under ECDF. Though kungayisimo kumele ngitsho, but I think it's very crucial because it affects izakhamizi kanye labantwana besikolo. And then the issue again eyamabhimu councillor, I think we can also help as i-office a member of parliament together with ECDF to attend to such issues. Ngalamazwi sihlobo ethandekayo ngokulibengelela lokulivalelisa lokulibonga ku meeting leyi yikuthi okwaka MP okungabuya imali ye-CDF ezakhangelwa nge-second week abazakuya trainer bebe besitshela lato MP ukuthi hayi imali ezabuya MP zasebenza ngalindlela. Sesibuya ebazalini kuzakhamizi to look into ama problems that we have equally raised. Sesibambisana lo council. Ngalamazwi sihlobo ethandekayo umthunywa akalampontshi kodwa ke mfisa ukuthi kimi njengomntaneni umthunywa kumele abe lempontshi. Azikho inyamazelo ezathunywayo ukuyabuza igama lesihlahla ukuthi ziphenduke legama lesihlahla ukuze sidliwe lesana sisaziwa. Ezinye endleleni zabuya sezidlela okunye, ezinye zayenzo zikwenzayo zafika sezikhohliwe igama. Ngakho ke mina impontshi ngizabalaye njengomthunywa wena kumele angangikhohlwe. Njalo ngithanda ukucela ngokuthi lingithumile ukuthi ngiyekwelusa bazali inkomo zenu. Njalo liyakwazi ukuthi ungafaka obamba zonke ngale uzathola abantu abalemali abaza kunika imali bethi sikutshintshe ukuba ngumalusi ube ngumzingeli ubusuyithatha lana imali ubusuyazingela inkomo ukuthiwa uzelusi. Zingqobe zenu ukuthi ngicela nilisincedise together with the council and our mayor and your MP ukuthi singakhohlwa igama njalo saluse inkomo njalo impontshi akayihlala emuntwini umuntu ukhohlwa njani awuthunyweyo. Ngiyabonga sihlobo ethandekayo libe langeni.
You have heard for yourselves from a meeting which was convened in Ward 22 in Nkulumane, where the local Councilor Mmeli Moyo, as well as the City Mayor, Senator David Coltart, as well as the Nkulumane Constituency Member of Parliament, Desire Moyo, took time to sit with the residents and hear their concerns around the issues of service delivery. If you have any service delivery issues in your area that you want us to spotlight, do get in touch with us on the detail on the contacts below the screens. If you have any service delivery issues that you want us to highlight, please do get in touch with us and we'll make sure that we visit your area as soon as we can.